Torah tells us that Moshe was a shepherd. Torah says, "Umoshe hayaroya esoin Yisro," in the beginning of Parag Gimel. He was a shepherd. He was a shepherd for the sheep, the herds from Yisro. Avi's question on this is, who cares? Why does the Torah tell us that he was a shepherd? And what could we learn from this?
Take care of the sheep, take care of everything, take care of everything.
So if you open up the Medrash Raba, and you go to the beginning of Parsha Beis, Beis Gimel, Medrash over there discusses this. So why we care that Moshe was a shepherd. It's a fascinating Medrash over there. Medrash basically says that Moshe was tested. We also find that Dovid HaMelech was a shepherd. They were both tested by being shepherds. Hashem tested them. Medrash over there relates that one of the animals ran away from the herd. Moshe chased after the animal and saw that the animal was drinking from a body of water. Moshe approached the animal and said, "I didn't know you were thirsty. Ani lo hayisi yodea. I didn't know you were running because you were thirsty. You must also be tired." Moshe picked up the animal, put the animal on his shoulders, and went back to the herd. Hashem saw this. Hashem said, "You have mercy on animals. You're a great shepherd. You're going to be a good shepherd for the Jewish people as well." The obvious question on this is, isn't this irresponsible? A shepherd over here has a flock of hundreds of animals. One goes loose, you go after the 100. No one was watching the other couple hundred animals. How do you explain this? Ask any zookeeper. They'll tell you, what do you mean? You don't go after the one, you got hundreds of animals. No. Won't they tell you that? Maybe they won't. I don't know. So we see from over here something that is tremendous comes along with Zilberstein and explains. Moshe understood that when the entire flock was together, they had unity with one another, they had achdus, they were all together. They didn't need to worry about anything else. They didn't need to worry about predators. They didn't need to worry about random holes, pits, because they would help each other out. They had the unity. However, when someone goes the other way, that there was concern for. Elaborates over here a lot more. It's more of a commentary also on Pasuk Yud about this. This teaches us another lesson. Jewish leaders always need to worry about their flock. Always. That's what they always have done. That's what they always will do. A lot of times you have people, they don't fit in. This is who we need to be most careful about. When they're outside of the herd, they're outside of the flock, they're separate. Those people a lot of times need the most attention and need the most help. People are separate. They're more prone to dangers. No one's with them. They need the most help. One characteristic that all good Jewish leaders had throughout our long history of thousands of years is to be givers. To give. The Steipler exemplified this, keeping his house open. Even when his family members would close his doors because the hour was very late, Steipler would open it. That's what a leader does. Gives, and gives. Always needing to help others. Someone who could be helped. That's the message over here. I mean, there's a few great messages from this. Medrash over there explains that Hashem doesn't bring great news to a person until he first tests him with something small. He passed that, and then Hashem sees you're ready to move on to the next level. You're ready to pass the next test. That's what's happening over here. It's not a coincidence that Moshe was a shepherd, Dovid HaMelech was a shepherd, these great leaders. If you could show that you do a good job with something small, with a minor task, you should show that you have compassion and you're sensitive even to something that's lower than a human, which a lot of people, they do terrible things to animals or insects just for fun. But when you show, they step on ants, they think they're powerful. When you show you're sensitive to everything that Hashem creates, then you're ready for the next step. That's a lesson that we learn from over here. One of the lessons. One of the Mefarshim on the Medrash Raba explains on the bottom that the insight over here is that it wasn't even Moshe's animals. They were Yisro's animals, his father-in-law, or father-in-law to be. They were Yisro's animals. So number one, it was animals. Number two, it wasn't even his, right? Money that he was dealing with, his assets, and still he was compassionate. So you see a tremendous thing. And then this idea of someone who is outside of the group to be more careful. They don't fit in. If they don't fit in the yeshiva, whatever it is, etc., to help out with it. That I think is a very important message. That's some of the ideas as to why the Torah tells us that Moshe was a shepherd. It's interesting. If you look in the page of the Mikras Gedolos, no one discusses this. No one discusses this, which is very interesting. Anyways, important message for us to keep in mind. All right. Everyone have a wonderful day. Baruch Hu.